Hello guys, once again this is Dikeos1 bringing you game 3 of my quest for Gold League. Now I will be down here in the bottom right corner playing as Sharp Teeth, and my opponent Tyler will be up here in the top left. This will be a ZVZ on Entombed Valley, and if I'm not mistaken, Entombed Valley is a new map to this season. So I'm still getting used to it. You know, just working out the kinks, as so are most players. So it's pretty interesting. I really enjoy this map. I think the layout is phenomenal for all sorts of play. Only the one Zelnaga tower in the center gives it quite an interesting play. Now you see my opponent here is going for an 11 pool this time, not myself. But that's alright. He hasn't actually started his pool yet. He has more than enough minerals. Oh, there it goes down now. He got it a little bit late. I was going to push him back just a little bit. At around 12-13 supply, I do send out a worker, as well as having my overlord scout, just so I can get an idea of where he is sooner rather than later. Again, in this map, I do grab my gas before I grab my spawning pool. That's just so I can get out speedlings just that little bit faster. It gives me that slight advantage over my opponent. Oh, if you look right here, I have my drone rallied to another drone rather than rallied onto the mineral patch. Epic fail on my part. That's going to cost me. So yes, I did go for I believe it was a 14 extractor, 13 pool. Again, as I said before, that will give me my speedlings just slightly faster than my opponent, who did go for an 11 pool. See, he has the Zerglings out right now. His pool finished. He has the Zerglings out much sooner than mine. He snipes my scouting drone, but that's okay. I know where he is now. I know he's up here in this top corner, and everything will be just fine. Now my Zergling speed is on the way at this point, but I don't have any Zerglings out, so it won't do me much good if I'm not going to be having any Zerglings. But my opponent made a mistake, and at the beginning of the game he did not scout to see where I was. So even though he made an 11 pool and had these Zerglings out rather quickly, he doesn't know where I am. So it takes him a really long time in order just to get to my base. So by the time it gets here, I do have enough time to get my queen out, and I should be able to get out my 4 Zerglings as well, which is a huge mistake on his part, because he could have done an alright amount of damage if he had scouted me early on and he knew where I was. But he didn't. He failed to. My queen does not die, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he tries to pull out with his Zerglings rather than trying to kill the queen, which is a huge mistake. Definitely want to take out that queen, especially when you're playing a Zerg versus Zerg, because those injects are extremely important. I do get a second queen out anyways, just preemptively, just to prepare for an event like that. But luckily for me, I didn't lose my queen. Now, right now, I'm at about 30 supply, and I'm just sending this worker out right now to go put down my expansion. Generally, I do like to get it around the 25 mark, but it was kind of risky considering he was sending out those Zerglings, so I postponed it just by that little bit. Missing an inject here, huge mistake. He does have roaches now though, which is good. Roaches are definitely good against Zerglings. He has them on hold position, walling off his ramp, so I can't run up and start harassing his working line or sniping his queen. He's going for his lair right now before he goes for his expansion, which is a bit of a mistake in my opinion, because as you see, my expansion is going down. It's just about past halfway done, and he is yet to start his, and he's missing his injects. So having the lair this early on, unless he's trying to go fast tech to Mutalisks, which he wasn't, because he wasn't mining fully, Maybe he was. I'm not sure. Either way, it was not good for him. You can see right here, I'm just droning up. I do have the Zelnaga tower in the center of the map, so I have decent map control. I mean, I do have my expansion does just complete right there. I should be transferring some workers over very shortly. And yep, there goes that queen, that second queen that I made preemptively. I do throw down 3 spine crawlers because I do know that I do come into his base. I see the roaches in the front of his base. I see everything that's going on. I see he has his lair. So he's in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, he's going to be getting more units. He's going to be getting upgrades for his roaches. He's going to try to do a timing push and take me out. So I throw down my 3 spine crawlers in the front of my natural here, along with my zerglings and my queen. Now, 3 spine crawlers, some zerglings, and a queen. This will do quite a bit of damage to any force that he comes out with. See, right now he's throwing down his Hydralisk den, so he doesn't go for meters. Instead, he goes for Hydras. So he's going for a Roach Hydra build. Now, Hydras are extremely effective against pretty much everything in the game because of their DPS. They just have such high range, and the damage output is phenomenal. But the problem is they're extremely squishy, and banelings and things just totally wreck them. Baneling, siege tanks, colossus just absolutely eat through those hydras, which is why you get the roaches, which are nice, sturdy. They're kind of fast too, unlike their slithering brothers, the hydralisks. My creep spread is coming along quite nicely. Thanks to that second queen, I have lots of extra energy on them, so I did have enough to start up my creep spread, get it going. See, he's moving his overlord down the side of the map here in case I decide to go for a Mutalisk Harass downside, which is very smart. It's a very smart thing to do, definitely. See him pushing out here. I do scout it with my Zergling, mind you, and I do see it with my Zerglings in the center of the map here. But I have enough units of my own. He has 24 roaches. I have 11 and 23 Zerglings, but I do have these 3 spine crawlers, which he sees those spine crawlers and he's like, nope, I'm not going in there, not yet. Wait for my upgrades to finish, and then he will have a much easier time breaking through my front wall. But again, I'm sitting here, I'm macroing up, I'm a little bit oversaturated in my main, and my natural could be a little bit better, so I should at this point be transferring drones over to my natural. Also, I'm missing my injects, which is a huge mistake, even though right now I am getting my spire down. You see, I'm uprooting these spine crawlers, moving them closer to the ramp, so the enemy has a harder time getting up that front door. He's only going for his expansion right now. He was at 79 supply, I think, when he threw that down, which is a giant blunder on his part. At this point in time, my income is so much higher than his. I've had my expansion down for almost, I'd say, like 7 minutes, and 7 minutes of mining an extra expansion is huge, especially in a ZVZ where everything counts. Still missing my my injects, sorry. Huge mistake. I am now getting my upgrades. I'm getting +1 weapons and +1 armor. That is ranged from my roaches, but he only has his +1 weapons. He has only 1 evolution chamber, just starting his +2 ranged attack right now, and his Hydralisk den, he hasn't built any Hydralisks yet, and he hasn't started his Evolved Groove spines. So at this point in time, it's a bit of a waste for him to have the Hydralisk den, and instead he should have threw down his expansion instead of the Hydralisk den, because he hasn't built any Hydralisk, he hasn't pushed out, he hasn't denied an expansion on my part, he hasn't done anything worthwhile with that Hydralisk den, and he could have used the expansion much more. It's up now. He's not transferring any drones over to his expansion, which is very strange because that's definitely something you want to be doing, because you don't want to mine out your main early on, because that'll really push you behind. Oh, he does actually do a sort of a transfer, but he takes his drones off the Vespine Geyser, which is a really odd thing to do, especially when you're going Roach Hydra. And my Mutalisks come in here, they snipe the Queen. Now this is where I make the decision to go for the Overlords instead of the drones. I know he has a large force of roaches, and as a Zerg player, everybody knows that the Zerg player can rebuild an army very fast. So I take out all of his supply. All of his Overlords is sitting there in the middle of the map. And you see down here, my Spine Callers are just sitting there acting as a wall, just absolutely eating through these roaches. His force was far superior, but I do manage to inflict a lot of damage. He does have +1 weapons. Now, if he wanted to make this a very good attack and just completely destroy me, he should have waited for his level 2 attacks to finish. That would have pushed him so far ahead of me, because I have only won 1. But instead, he did not. My Mutalisks are still harassing his base. He doesn't have any Hydralisks out. He just has a few roaches. I'm still sniping the Overlords. Doesn't matter how much income he's gaining from those drones. I took out his natural, and there goes the GG. So you can see what I did this game. I played it rather well. I got that second Queen out nice and early. Started some creep spread, and it just did a good job at knowing when to drone up and when to create an army. The 3 Spine Callers at the front of my base really helped making that wall so he couldn't push through. And the Mutalisks, of course, just harassed him, and he was trying to go for a bit of a base race. It was all desperation kind of attack. He wasn't really doing any sort of micro. He was just like, alright, hit A and left click, you know? That's what he did. As you can tell, I'm still getting upgrades. I didn't stop the game. I did take them the rocks here at the side, planning on going for an expansion. Never got around to throwing it down. I definitely should have. I had more than enough time to. I was far enough ahead in the game. His natural really didn't get saturated enough to do any sort of, to really help him in the way that he needed. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.